Well, welcome to Property, Football and Life with Rob, Rach and Millie. Yes, we're back, and what a 7 days it's been. Tonight we're going to try and work out who's worse, the RBA, the NRL refs, or the New South Wales Blues last Wednesday night, who were absolutely atrocious. What are your thoughts, Rach?
Oh, give me strength, honestly. They're all the same. They're all the devil in disguise.
They're all the devil in disguise.
Yes.
So what seems to be becoming a monthly thing, if not every couple of weeks, the RBA have put the rates up yet again. So people and all the press are all running around, the world's coming to an end, the sky's falling in. You know, it's not good, but it's not as bad as you might seem. What do you think?
Well, those who have a mortgage will disagree with you because of the amount of increases we've had since April last year.
Yes.
So the increase to their mortgage every month and their wages haven't grown at the same rate.
100%.
So, you know, people can only cut back so much. And again, and I've been saying this for a while, I don't agree with the RBA completely what they're doing. I actually think they're clueless. They've got no idea what they're doing with regards to trying to get inflation under control. And they're punishing a small portion of the population. Not everybody has got a mortgage.
No.
You're the only one affected if you've got a mortgage on your home, on your investment or on your commercial property. People who rent or who own their own homes, they're going to keep spending. They are going to keep driving inflation. This is not the fix. And I remember years ago when Peter Costello was the Treasurer of Australia, he would have called, and he was still the Treasurer, he would call the RBA governor in his office, give him a dressing down and say, what are you doing? You've got it wrong. Go back, rethink stuff. Because this is completely wrong, what you're doing.
Well, they seem to be one train on one track, and they just seem to be wanting to go on the same, don't want to change lines. No. The problem is they're going to take us off the cliff. That's the truth, if they're allowed to keep going. Because they don't have an idea of how to do things. That's just been proven. They keep putting it up, but inflation still keeps rising. Well, so it's not working.
Yeah, you think if you've got a mortgage and it's increased substantially since April last year, what are you going to cut back on? Realistically, if you've cut back to the bare bones already, what else are you going to cut? Are you going to have to go and get a second and third job? So
we did that.
Yeah, I know we did that, but I wouldn't want anybody to do that. And I think our experience is completely different to what the experience is now. Yes, our rates were high, but our mortgages were considerably lower, and even though our wages were at the time, I don't think, we didn't have, a $500,000 mortgage or $800,000 mortgage, which seems to be the norm at the moment, and then still trying to raise a family and still having to have a life at the same time.
Yeah, I think, and we were prepared to make sacrifices.
Yeah, I think people are now.
Yeah, I think they are now.
Yeah.
I do feel for big families, especially families that are out there with 2 or 3 kids and they have a sizable mortgage and kids still want to be fed, kids still want to play sport, and mum and dad deserve some mum and dad time too. And with the interest rates that keep rising, it is going to get very tough. But there are some things people can do. They can
review. First, my advice is if you have a mortgage or any sort of lending, go and see a broker straight away. Don't go to a bank.
No.
Do not go to a bank. Get a broker who has got a suite of home loans that he can look at to refinance you and save you money. It is happening. I'm in contact with a lot of brokers from Sydney, and that's what they're doing. They're doing refinance for their clients and saving them money, getting the best deal possible. That's number one.
Yep.
2, review your outgoings. So review and we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, review your house insurance, your contents, your car insurance. If you've got private medical insurance with a Bupa or
HCF,
review that. There are plenty of places you can go to do that. Review your mobile phone contract. There might be a cheaper mobile phone contract around that you can actually get into. Electricity, gas, obviously water, you're stuck with Sydney Water.
Yeah. But you know what? One thing I did learn on the weekend, don't be afraid to shop around. I went down to get some stuff the other day in our local supermarket, a big chain, and tomatoes were $12.99 a kilo. And I went, no. I said, I've still got to drive home past a local fruit market. So I did. I didn't get my tomatoes from them. I went past the local fruit market. I got them at $9.99.
And you support a small business.
So those little things, if you plan your trip, you're not using any more petrol. You just got to be a little bit smarter. If you normally go to Aldi and then go to Woolworths, do it on the same trip. There are some really, really good things. And another thing is car insurance. Too many of us are lazy when it comes to the renewal comes in.
Set and forget.
Tick, flick, and forget. No, there are plenty of options out there. If you can save yourself $100 or $200 a year and maintain the quality of your car insurance, better the $200 in your pocket than it is in somebody else's. And you can just look at things. We say many, many times, how do you eat an elephant? One bit at a time. Just look at everything in your house, one thing at a time. Don't get overawed and just take your time. And you will find that you will save a lot of money. And then when the interest rates go down, guess what? You'll probably keep saving that money because you go, wow, I didn't really need that, or I learned how to buy better. And it'll actually end up, overall, you'll end up with more money in your back pocket. And when it comes to the old property market, which we buy and sell in and we buy people are thinking that it's going to crash. It hasn't. In many areas, especially in Sydney, prices are rising. And people are saying, well, why? If interest rates are up, why are prices rising? It's the old supply and demand. Yes, there's plenty on the market, but there's not as much as there normally is. So people who are looking to buy, there's a lot of people looking for not as many houses, which is pushing the price up on quality homes. And another thing, if you're really, really struggling and you're feeling that you need to do something, if you're sitting in a large home and there's two of you, or maybe three, and you look around and say, do I really need this large home? Do I need a 5 or 6 bed home on a big block with a triple garage? No, you don't. Consider downsizing. You might be able to get a very good price for your property. Buy a smaller property that's still got everything you want, reduce your mortgage, reduce your stress. It's something really worth looking at, and a lot of people don't go down it. Ring your local real estate agent. Get them in and say,
no, ring your local buyer's agent actually, because we will actually come out before you even think about doing that, and we will come out and do an assessment with you on giving you some hints on how to actually prepare your property before it hits the market.
But you need to find out what your property's worth.
Yeah, well, we can do that. We can do an appraisal.
So what about the football?
Oh, yeah. So we went to the West Tigers versus Canberra game on Friday night. And one unnamed ref should never, ever, ever be allowed to ref West Tigers ever again. Ever again. Like, it was just appalling. Absolutely appalling. And the fact that Graham Annesley has come out in the last 48 hours and said that try should not have been allowed because Brooks was pushed in the back, which we could all see.
But here, that same ref has cost West Tigers games before.
Multiple.
And it's not just happening with us. There are other clubs out there that are losing games because of inconsistent and bad refereeing. We all make mistakes. That's human.
I'm sick of hearing that excuse.
But some are not up to the NRL standard. Some have passed their use by date. I would rather have a young ref out there having a go, making the odd mistake, than these guys who consistently stuff up and you're paying $50 or $60 to go to a game, over $100, $150 to take your family, and you're having your team lose a game because consistent bad refereeing. I'm sorry, but this is a professional sport.
But it actually feels like there is a different level of reffing depending where your team's sitting on the ladder.
You're not saying that the top teams get favoured.
Oh, I'm not, didn't say that at all. I'm just saying that it's that from my, I do have my couch coach certification.
Yes, masters after last weekend.
After last weekend. So, but I do feel after watching, and I did say earlier in the season that I thought the bunker was being fair. Well, the bunker was outrageous on Friday night. They were trying to justify why there is even a bunker.
Yep.
And I got to the point where I was like, just get rid of the bunker because you're making mistakes. The ref's making blatant mistakes on the field and no one is holding them account for.
No.
If a coach dare criticises the ref, it's a $10,000 fine.
Well, Ricky Stewart spent a bit of money already.
Well, I actually think Sheen should too, because I'd happily donate to the fund.
Well, yes, he did say that he didn't want to spend 10,000, but he would be at the NRL on the Monday with a please explain. And by Tuesday, they admitted they got it wrong, and it cost West the game. And we're not the only side that this costing them the game.
Anyway, so let's talk about the appalling state of origin, where the Blues just didn't turn up at all.
No.
And I don't know what the answer is for that one either.
I think that when it's failed so many times, and it has failed the last twice badly, and players who are supposed to be the top players, let's put it bluntly, choke.
So let's equate it to what's happened at St George recently when they blame the coach. When they're on a losing streak, it's the coach. It's and for Fittler to come out and say that he had no idea how to fix it, well, you're
the coach.
Go back to the drawing board. You need to. Is it mental that they didn't look like they were a cohesive team at all? Did they actually spend quality time bonding and training, or what were they doing in their little silos?
Well,
completely different to last year.
On paper, New South Wales should have flogged Queensland, but on the night, Queensland were a well-drilled team, which was a big difference. New South Wales were a team of champions. Queensland were a champion team, and that will always win out. And hats off to them. As much as I hated Queensland winning, they completely deserved it because they played as a team. And it doesn't matter if you're in business, in life, if you play as a team, you're going to win. If you play as an individual, you'll end up like New South Wales did last week and you got beat.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens at that next state of origin, whether they come out firing, what selections that Freddie's going to make with regards to the team and what combinations he's going to put in. And more importantly, who is he going to put in to replace Cleary, because that's such a pivotal role for the team and for the game.
Yeah, well, they're talking Nico Hines, they're talking Adam Reynolds. We'll see. I think both will do an awesome job.
Yeah, my bet's Nico Hines.
Yeah, put a young guy in, let him run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let him have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could they do any worse than they did last week?
No. Anyway.
So there was a very, very important event this week. The most important in a Nana's calendar. Number one grandchild birthday.
Oh, yes. Well, that was a week and a bit ago now, yeah. 4 years old Miss Hazel is now.
Yes. Going on 44.
Yes.
Yes. So all of you who have got 4-year-old children out there or 4-year-old grandchildren, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
And the little 9-month-old's now starting to realise that she has to share her sister. And that hasn't gone down too well because she's getting more aware of what's going on.
I will tell you a little story about Adelaide though. So she's 9 months old. She'll be 1 in August. Hasn't started to crawl yet, but she shuffle bums. So you can put her in one spot on the floor and then she will shuffle on her little bottom all the way around the floor to get where she wants to go. So yeah, try and put her on in the crawling position and she'll cry, but let her be the little shuffle bum and she's happy as Larry.
Yeah, that's true. So we're going to wind it up now. In summary, yes, the rates are up. Do your best. Get out there. Find where you can save money. Go and see a mortgage broker. If you're looking at selling your house, get a hold of a local buyer's agent or us here at Lansdowne Property Group if you want some advice on how to best present your home and bring it to market so you make the most money. And look at things outside the square. When it comes to the footy, well, what can I say? I love my West Tigers. Rach loves her St George. Get there, support your team through thick and through thin. Doesn't matter if they're winning or losing, stick by them. And as for grandchildren, I think you just spoil them, don't you?
No, love them. Can't spoil them. But I do want to say, if you do want to review your insurances, like your home insurance, your mobile phone plan, and your utility provider, then give me a shout out via our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we can have a chat. And if you do want to use a buyer's agent, want to know more about how we can add value to your property search, the same thing. Give us a call or contact us through our website. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, we're done.
Have a groovy week.
See you guys.
Bye.